Dads, if you weigh between 235 and 250 pounds and you've been telling yourself that you're gonna start working out for 3 days a week for 45 minutes, but you haven't done nothing in the last 2 months, this video is gonna change the way that you approach your fitness, quite frankly, forever. Because I would challenge you that you don't have a motivation problem, you have a dosage problem. And what I'm talking about is most dads try to start with the maximum amount of dosage. I'm gonna explain what that means here in just a second. And I flip the script and I start them with the minimum effective dose. And these are two completely different things. And with this strategy, this is how I've been able to get results just like this week after week after week after week, and how I get messages just like this every single day. In medicine, what is that? The minimum effective dose to be able to get you back healthy, to produce a meaningful response. And what I mean by that is more is not better, enough is better. And the same thing applies to your training. And research shows that just 10 to 20 minutes of movement a day can have a direct correlation to your insulin sensitivity. 2 to 3 sets per week of hard intensity can improve your muscle growth. Daily mobility can improve or decrease the risk of injury. Consistency is the key, guys. Your body is going to adapt over time to frequent and consistent movement rather than these right here. And you know this. What is the limiting factor from you being able to do this and continue to lose the 20 pounds and continue to gain it back? And that's what I'm gonna help you with today. Because if you're honest with yourself, it's not that you lack information. You're probably following hundreds of people on Instagram, you're saving their workouts, you're trying different YouTube videos, you're doing all this different stuff. You say that you're gonna start this upcoming Monday, and I'm gonna get back into the gym, and I'm gonna start working out earlier before the kids get up because that's my only time. These are all the things that you tell yourself. But what happens when work runs late? What happens when you gotta pick up the kids after school for practice? When you're tired, that's when your plan completely freaking collapses. And that's why it's because your dosage is too high. So let me break down a strategy of how you can progressively increase your consistency over time by doing this. The very first thing that we want to focus on is mobility. We want to make your body bulletproof. That way, when you get over here and you start to focus on strength training, building muscle, getting under some weights again, you're not throwing out your back, hurting your shoulder, hurting your knees because you didn't prioritize the foundational stuff first. So what I'm talking about there is your joints, getting your joints to be strong, spine stability, core stability, improving the integrity of your freaking trunk, your hip strength, your shoulder health. Why? Because most dudes that are 40 years old, they end up getting hurt, and whenever they get hurt, they fall back off, they get lazy, they miss at work and say, I'll get back to it next week. I need to rest, I need to recover so that I can go at it again. Can you see how this is a broken system? Your back gets tight, your knee hurts, your shoulder flares up, and this cycle continues to repeat itself. So we have to reverse engineer it from the start. We have to build the foundation. So we combine the mobility with 10 to 15 minutes a day peripheral heart rate training, which combines cardiovascular work with strength, with movement. That's it. Not 4 days a week, not 60 minutes, not going to the gym, a jump rope, kettlebell, freaking pull-up bar. Hear from Dave, this is exactly what he did and how he lost freaking 10 pounds in just the first couple of weeks.
A lot of the guys that, follow my account but haven't taken action yet, if you had a chance to sit down with them, what would you tell them?
Top line, if you sit down and have the conversation, that's a good step. But the real key here is how much of your heart you're going to put into this process. And if you're not fully committed to putting your heart in the process, maybe it's not your time. That's okay. Yeah. I've had a lot of those times when I thought I was investing myself, thought I was going for it, and turns out I wasn't quite ready for it. You really got to make that choice that you're ready to do it. And the big piece here is after that conversation, you need to keep showing up. You need to have a little bit of OCD, ADHD, where you're going to get obsessive over this. That is a way to make a change in your life. And once you're maybe made that change, you've made that turn, you don't have to always be super overly engaged, but it's like, we got to reframe this. And so recognize that it's step one and it's just step one. Step two, great.
That's right.
Step three, you keep grinding at it.
And how Frank, who travels all over the world, has now lost 34 pounds working out on the freaking streets and in and out of hotel rooms. Hear from him.
I'm traveling again for another week, but like Dave just said, down another pound, so on our way.
And how much are you down from the journey?
33, same as Dave.
You boys are killing it.
Hell yeah.
Let's get it. Let's keep it up, boys.
And what we do is we focus on daily movement, because guess what happens whenever you have daily movement and you're improving the way that you move? You feel good. You have better energy. You have better clarity. And guess what happens when you do that? you start to make a little bit better, healthier decisions because you're feeling good. Rather than going and doing this something 3 to 4 days a week, it's this thing that you're going to do versus this is a part of your life. And that's where you start to shape into the difference in identity, because that's what we're trying to reshape. We're trying to reshape identity over intensity. Who you are, how you go about doing things versus all or nothing. And I've taken these same principles and these same philosophies of when I train NFL athletes and special operations and military, and I've made it simple. I've made it into a system. I've made it to where it's structured, and I've made it to where you can have support around the journey so that you can do this. And when you start to dip down, you get right back up on the saddle because you have support and you have a system that keeps you on path. And this is exactly what I did with Josh and how he just lost another belt loop. Hear from him.
I'm down pant size and a shirt size.
Atta boy.
That was huge for me.
Another belt loop.
Another belt loop. I'm fitting stuff that I haven't fit in since I started teaching. It's crazy.
Let's go. You know, people think that they pay a lot of money for this program, but they're completely wrong. They pay a lot of money for the new wardrobe I'm going to make you guys get. So that's great, man. That's, I think, 2 or 3 belt loops now.
Yes.
Praise God. That's awesome. He was working out 3 to 4 days a week. He was working out randomly. He's a teacher. He works all day at school. And then as you know, as a teacher, after school, still got a lot of work to do. He had no structure. He had no mobility. He was drinking too much. We dropped him all the way down to 15 minutes a day. We built the habit. We built the consistency. We fixed his back. We strengthened his hips. We got him strong. Now the dude's down another belt loop. And I get text messages like this one from Travis, where it's like the first time he's seen a 1 in front of the scale in years, or better yet, just hear from him.
I saw a 1 in front of the scale this morning, and early last week for the first time in like 10 years. So I'm pretty proud of that. 55 pounds down total. I guess 51 now. Or 56, but it's 199 this morning, so I feel pretty good about that.
Can you say it louder for the people in the back? Because that's badass, brother.
Yeah, it definitely hits home. It's one of those wins, one of those milestones that, I'm just that much closer. So 199, first time since like 2015. Pretty nice.
That's fantastic.
30 more to go, but one step at a time.
Good work, man.
And the reason why this daily stimulus matters is because it improves neural efficiency, your recovery capacity. It improves your insulin sensitivity. It reduces the amount of injury that you're putting your body at risk for, because high intensity does the complete opposite. And I love to train hard, let's not get me wrong, but they spike your cortisol, increases your soreness because you're not doing it consistently enough, decreases your motivation, and then what happens after that? You end up quitting and you falling off. And trying to outwork a broken plan is like flooring a gas pedal that has poor alignment. You're not just burning fuel, but you're not even going straight. You got to fix the alignment first. Then you can stomp on the gas. And when we stomp on the gas, it means we go to the next phase. Now, if you have been working out for several days a week for the last 2 months, and that's a different problem. You're just not seeing the results. That means that you're putting in the work, which is even more frustrating. And that can only last for so long, because how much more motivated would you be if you were putting in the work every week and every single week you were seeing results? So that's a different problem that you have. That's a lack of programming, knowing what to do, lack of proper nutrition, potentially recovery, stress. Like, you're just out there to get a good sweat in, but if you're gonna put in the work, you might as well start seeing some results. But most guys don't have that problem. They don't have a workout problem. They have a consistency problem. And I get text messages just like this every single week, man. My back doesn't hurt anymore, Kev. This is the most consistent I've ever been. I'm finally stacking days. I'm able to fit into the sport code again. That's the win. We're stacking the days. So once we get into phase 2, then we're starting to slip in a little bit more strength work. We're starting to slip in a little bit more hypertrophy work because we've built the foundation. We're starting to improve the demand a little bit more. Progressive overload because your body is now ready for it. This is how we can actually start to work on transforming the body and doubling down on what works. And studies show over and over again that frequency is directly correlated to adherence. And guess what? Adherence drives results in reinforce. Identity shapes new behavior. So it's not that you need more intensity, it's actually that you need more repetition, which is doing it on a daily basis. So here's the question you got to ask yourself, and it's the one that I ask every single man whenever we're talking, because I want to be able to help you, is are you going to be able to put your ego to the side and do less than what you think that you should be doing? Because your ego wants you to go hard, it wants you to go every day, it wants you to go for 45 minutes a day, but your schedule can't sustain that, brother. So if you're sitting between 235 and 260 pounds, pounds and you're tired of restarting every single month, you got two options. You can keep trying to outwork the broken plan, or you can start with the minimum effective dose and you can start building on that foundation. And if you want actual help of how to structure this and put it into your life and make it where it has the system, the structure, and the support so that you don't fall off, and check out the description down below. We'll map out where you are, where is it that you're truly struggling, and what dosage do you need to, where you're at? Where do we need to put you in? Where do we need to set you up for success so that you can get the body transformation that you're after? And it's not even about the transformation, if we're being completely honest. You want to feel better. You want to have better energy. You want to be able to run around with the kids. You want to be able to put the coat on, put the shirt on, pop the top at the pool, and feel good. That's what you're after. Nobody wants to hold a sign over their head saying, I've lost 40 pounds. You want to be able to smile and feel more confident in your skin and look good, and have your wife look at you and make the comment. People say, man, what have you been doing? Like, it feels good. But just remember that better or more is not better. Better is better. And you have to start small. I'll catch you guys in the next one.